What's going on, y'all? My name is Fox, previously known as the Gamer Pro, and welcome to Dark Souls 3. Boy, it's been a while. Recently, thanks a little briefing at the start. I hadn't played this game for a short period of time, but now with the DLC coming up with all the Bloodshades, Crusades stuff. I got... what the hell is going on with my cloak? Alright, yes. Holy crap, I look magnificent like this. Anyways, with all this new stuff, sorta, I got hyped for this game again, and I've been enjoying it once more. So, I decided now would be a perfect time to start my weapon guides, or I'm just gonna call it weapon guide series for Dark Souls 3, and we're starting off with Greatswords. First one being the Bastard Sword. So, without further ado, let's get into it. So the Bastard Sword is easiest way to talk about the Bastard Sword is it's the extreme average of the Greatswords. It has average damage, average weight, pretty much average everything. It has a normal moveset, but the thing that separates it from the other Greatswords is it shares the Stomp weapon skill with one more Greatsword, being the Executioner's Greatsword. But what's unique about the Bastard Sword Stomp is that it follows it. If you follow it up with a strong attack, you do an upward slash and send the enemies flying. And how you get the Bastard Sword is you can buy it from Greatswords of Undead Settlement. I don't think he has to do any plundering, you can just straight up buy it from him. Yeah, nothing special about the Bastard Sword. I like the weapon because I really love this stomp into slash move. And the next one is gonna be the Claymore. So the Claymore has also a really average damage. It's, I think, like 2 AR less than the Bastard Sword or something like that. But it has a bit longer reach, plus it has a pretty damn good moveset with thrusting attacks. The two-handed power attack, the one-handed power attack, and the two-handed rolling attack are or thrusting attacks. They are not as good as in Dark Souls 1. I mean, the two are, but this rolling attack is a bit slower, and it has the stance as its weapon skill, and the stance is the most common weapon skill among the Greatswords. So, if you follow it up with a strong if you go to the stance and follow up with a strong attack, you do that kind of lunge that deals pretty good damage, and if you follow it up with a normal attack like this, you break the opponent's guard. And where you get the Claymore is underneath the very first dragon in the game, or Wyvern. I think it's a Wyvern. Underneath that guy in... actually here, High Wolf Lothric. The next weapon, and the rarest of the Greatswords, is the Flamberge. It has lower than average damage, but it has really high base damage, being 300 at AR. 300, not AR. The AR is lower than average, but the base damage is 300 around this +9, which where I am. But what compensates for the lack of damage in this weapon is that it has bleed. So the moveset is similar to Bastard Sword, except the Flamberge has the sands instead of the stomp, and you get the Flamberge as a rare drop from the Flamberge wielding thralls. But it's a very rare drop, so have your rusted and rusted gold coins and your gold serpent ring ready, because this one is gonna take a while unless you're a very lucky person. But I like the flamberge. So this has pretty bad scalings, so if you're making a like lower level character or wanna invest in other stats instead of going for a quality build, flamberge is pretty good since it has high base damage, so you can just put lightning or chaos or whatever into it and it will be a fine weapon. The next one is the Drakeblood Greatsword, which has 3 different damage types to it. It deals lightning damage, magic damage and physical damage, and so that makes for a high AR since the damage is split. But the split damage isn't as bad in this game as it is like in Dark Souls 1, or I'm sorry, it's been so long since I played 2, so I can't remember whether you could upgrade armor in that game or not, but since you can't upgrade armor in this game, which I like, split damage weapons aren't as bad. It also has the stance as its weapon skill, and it has this very unique R1 moveset with this 3-part combo, and this moveset is shared with the Hollow Slayer Greatsword, or how players who played Dark Souls 2 like to call it the Mirror Greatsword. Anyways, you get the Drakeblood Greatsword from Great Belfry, from the very first Drakeblood Knight you encounter. He always drops it. Also, the Drakeblood Greatsword is it weighs, yes. It's the least heavy of all. It's the lightest of all greatswords. That's what I was going for. So the next one is Executioner's Greatsword, which has very average damage, and it has the exact same moveset as the Bastard Sword, except the stomp is this time a spinning slash instead of an upward slash. And what's unique about the Bastard Sword, look at my FP bar right now. I don't know if you guys saw that, but it restores 3 FP with each successful kill when you have this weapon equipped. And I can't remember the exact location, but I do remember that you get this weapon from the Cathedral of the Deep. Somewhere there. But unfortunately I cannot remember the exact location. I like the Executioner's Greatsword. I like stomps, which you can follow up with something. I think they are great. One of my favorite weapon skills in the game. So, the next one is the Black Knight Greatsword. And it has a bit higher than average damage, and it has a unique R2 moveset as all the Black Knight weapons do. And I missed the repose, and I'm gonna get fucked now. Excuse me. So let's get rid of this guy now, and I am out of stamina. Please die. It would be very embarrassing if I died to these guys. Yes, so just a moment. So we are back, and I apologize for that. So as I said, I have had a bit of a break from this game, so also I have never been good in PvE anyways, so I apologize for that. Anyways, if this fucker would stop hitting me, I could showcase the one-handed R2 moveset as well. Please stop, you. Thank you. So, as I was saying, the Black Knight Greatsword, Black Knight Sword has a bit higher than average damage. It has unique R2 moveset, or RT. I don't know why I say R2 when I'm actually playing with an Xbox One controller, but whatever. So, what this weapon skill does is it boosts your poise and gives you unlimited hyper armor. It's hyper armor in this game for a short period, so you can trade more effectively without getting staggered. And where you get this Black Knight sword is Moldering Lake. It's behind an illusory wall. There's a Black Knight and a Gru fighting, and you can loot it off a corpse there. So the next one is the Hollow Slayer Greatsword, another weapon with the same kind of two-handed normal attack moveset like the Drakeblood Greatsword, and it also has thrusting attacks, which is great. I love thrusting attacks in Greatswords. And what's unique about this weapon is that it deals increased damage to hollows, as the name would suggest. And it looks very similar to the Mirage Greatsword in Dark Souls 2. And you get this weapon from the Curse Rod. Yes, the Curse Rod at Greatwood Soul. When you give the transposing kiln to Ludleth and then transpose Curse Rod at Greatwood's soul for this sword. And the next one is Volnir's Holy Sword. It has average damage, and you get it from by transposing High Lord Volnir's soul to Ludleth. And what's unique about this weapon is its weapon skill. Also, I'm just gonna say that I think it looks pretty damn fancy. I'm out of stamina, and this time I will not die. If this guy would stop turtling, that would be fucking fantastic. Anyways, alright, I'm gonna get rid of this guy actually, like that. I'll showcase the weapon skill on the hollows. So, other than the weapon skill, Volnir's Holy Sword has very unique, I mean, very normal moveset. So I'll just kill this guy real quick, like that, and then I'll show the weapon skill. So both parts, let's see, yes, the first part also does damage, but the second part is what deals most of the damage. And also, after the first part is complete, right, let me see if I can showcase it. Now, you see I'm kind of glowing like I was with the Black Knight sword. So you get unlimited hyper armor during that Wrath of the Gods channel after a short wind up. So you don't get it immediately, that would be pretty broken. But after a short delay you get the hyper armor. And the next one is the Greatsword of Judgment, which is an intelligence greatsword, and it deals physical and magical damage. That's why it has higher AR than regular weapons or greatswords. And what's unique is its stance. So whenever you use either a normal attack or a strong attack in the stance, you get this Dark Moon Blade kind of buff. So although it shows up when you do this, it shows up but it disappears immediately, so you will have to use a skill in order to get that buff. So that lunge, or no, it wasn't a lunge, but that thrust you saw me do was the normal attack from the stance, and this Mulat Greatsword-ish kind of blast is the strong attack. It has pretty short range, so just be aware of that. Overall, it's a pretty fun weapon, and the weapon skill moveset is pretty good in my opinion. And definitely, fuck you. Definitely a pretty solid weapon for intelligence builds. It's outshined obviously by the Moonlight Greatsword and even the Immolation Tender, but as someone who likes greatswords, I find this weapon very fun. And the next one is Storm Ruler, yes, Storm Ruler, which has low damage, low durability. The durability is only 10. It's good versus Yorm. You get it from Yorm's room, and I'm just gonna show you. I'm just gonna put it out there. Don't use this weapon versus anything else but Jorm, it's pretty crappy. It has terrible damage, it breaks very easily, and this weapon skill, which is a stance where you can charge up this blast and then release the blast, does absolutely nothing against normal enemies. It's only useful versus Jorm. So overall, it's a weapon you use to defeat one boss. Other than that, it's pretty much useless. So I wouldn't recommend using it. As you can see, my durability bar is already very depleted. That's because the weapon has 10 durability, which is terrible. Whoops, I was supposed to kick, and apparently I was supposed to get fucking wrecked by this. Hello? But yeah, don't use Storm Ruler, and don't ask why I have it +4. I had spare Demon Titanites, and this was the last boss weapon I hadn't upgraded, so that's why. Let me quickly do one thing. Yes, purple. So the next one is the Wolf Knight's Greatsword, and probably my favorite greatsword out of all the greatswords in this game. It has average damage and it's the heaviest of all the greatswords, but it also has the longest reach with its attacks. And as many might notice, it's Artorias' greatsword, and what makes this weapon unique is its stance. It's Wolf Knight's stance, and the normal attack is this spinning attack, and if you do a strong attack in the stance, it does this leaping attack. Deals a lot of damage and very easily breaks the enemy's guard, but for example in PvP, as you may, I think you figured it out, but it's not very useful in PvP. You will most likely get just splattered while doing that very long animation, but it looks hella cool and that's nice, I guess. So this weapon you get by transposing the Abyss Watcher's soul. Got a bit of blackout there, but yes, the Abyss Watcher's soul. This is one of the 2 weapons you can get by transposing their soul. So therefore, third last greatsword in this game is the Moonlight Greatsword, and unlike in Dark Souls 1, it doesn't do full magic damage in this game, but it's still mostly magic damage, and it's one of the better weapons for sorcery builds. So it has higher AR than average because it is split damage. It deals both physical and magic damage. And let me kill this guy, then I can showcase something. So it has a unique special, which is this kind of magical thrust. Deals 2 part damage, the first part dealing like 30% of all the damage, and the second part dealing most of the damage. This you get by transposing Osiris' soul. This is one of the 2 things you can get by that. Also, by max charging the power attacks, you can shoot these Moonlight Greatsword blasts, which cost 4 durability per hit. Range isn't nearly as good as it was in Dark Souls 1, but it's still pretty damn cool. You can also chain them back by back. So these don't cost FP, they cost 4 durability per hit, and this weapon skill, the thrusting attack, costs only FP, it doesn't cost additional durability at all. And the second last greatsword on our list is the Firelink Greatsword, which you get by transposing Soul of Cinder Soul. Soul of Cinder Souls, the Soul of the Lords, which is the final boss of the game. Spoiler alert, by the way, but I don't think you would be watching this unless you had beaten the game already. If you are, then it's your own fault for spoiling yourself. So the weapon skill is this pretty long range fire blast that has multiple hitboxes, and as many other weapon skills in the game, when you actually use it, you get this buff for a short while, which adds additional elemental damage to your weapon, which in this case is fire. Overall, the Firelink Greatsword is a pretty solid weapon. It also has higher AR than average, thanks to the split damage between physical and fire damage, and yeah. It's also relatively light. I think it was 9 units. Yes, 9 units. And the very last Greatswords in the game currently is the Twin Princess Greatsword, which you get by transposing both Lothric's and Lorien's souls for their weapons. I mean, they have the split soul, but you have to go through at least one New Game Plus, so 2 playthroughs to get this weapon, and it does fire and physical. So split AR, split damage. So once again, it has a bit higher AR than regular weapons. And what's special about this weapon is its stance. So when you do a normal attack in the stance, it does Lothric's Holy Light, which is the weapon skill of Lothric's Holy Sword. And if you do the strong attack, it does Lorien's Flame, which is the weapon skill for Lorien's Greatsword. So pretty much this is just the fusion of Lothric's and Lorien's swords. Pretty cool, pretty good. It's a solid weapon. I like it. And I also like to get hit in the face with hollows and the speeds. Whoops, I was supposed to kick that guy, but I suck, so I didn't. So that's about it. That's all the Greatswords currently in the game. I will be making a split episode, or its own episode, for all the weapons that are released with the Ashes of Ariandel, but that is in the future. About a month from now, the DLC will be released, and I am pretty sure I will definitely enjoy it. But this has been Greatswords, this has been WeFox, and thanks for watching the video. I hope to see you guys next time. I think next time I will be doing Ultra Greatswords. I want to have these weapons included in the guides maxed out, or 1 point short, since slabs aren't... you don't get infinite slabs in any way in this game unless you want to play through a million New Game Pluses, but I don't like that, so yeah. Anyways, thanks for watching. Next time we will be doing Ultra Greatswords, and I hope to see you guys then. But for now, peace out.